Hey, Achara.
What?
Did you know that the world population is going to decline?
Really?
Ahead of schedule, too.
Oh, awesome.
That's going to be the only article we talk about today.
Okay.
And so I hit my intro button. It didn't work because the volume was down. Okay, here we go. Welcome to Love ZINDAGI with Jaby, Koay, and Achara, Kirk, where we talk about all your problems, all your glory, and if you've got problems, we'll help get you to glory. We're here to get you back to good, get ourselves back to good. We're two schmucks trying to help you guys not be schmucks also.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're going to go straight into one article. We've only got one article because we've only got time for one article. We got a lot of emails today, and I don't even know if we'll get to all of them because of the limited time that we have. So much going on in our lives, but we are trying to make time for you guys because this is really important to me. Very, very important to me that we can address your needs, you know, talk to you guys. Anyway, can you see my article, Achara?
Yes.
All right, so this is from the New York Times. It says world population could peak decades ahead of UN forecast, study asserts. The study published in The Lancet said an accelerated decline in fertility rates means the global population could peak in 2064 at 9.7 billion and fall to 8.8 billion by century's end.
Ooh.
So this is not a good thing, though.
Why?
Because
I thought we were overpopulated.
we are overpopulated, but it's a double-edged sword, you see, because if we have fewer young people taking care of a lot of older people,
Oh, gotcha.
we're in a bad place.
Yeah.
So United Nations demographers have been anticipating since last year that the world's population may stop growing by 2100 as fertility rates decline, projecting a peak of 10.9 billion people by century's end, compared with roughly 7.8 billion now. But a study published on Tuesday in The Lancet, the medical journal, has challenged that forecast with major economic and political implications. The study asserted that the global population could peak at 9.7 billion by 2064, nearly 4 decades earlier, and decline to 8.8 billion by 2100. Moreover, the study concluded the elderly will make up a bigger chunk of the total than foreseen in the UN forecast, and the population of at least 23 countries, including Japan, Thailand, Italy, and Spain, could shrink by more than 50%.
Oh, Thailand.
The study also projected significant declines in the working age populations of China and India, the two most populous countries, portending a weakening in their global economic power.
Oh.
So the study's projections, if borne out, also carry significant consequences for the United States, whose economy is expected to trail China's in size by 2035. As China's working age population declines in the second half of the century, the study said the United States could reclaim the top spot economically by 2098 if immigration continues to replenish the American workforce.
All right, Mr. Trump, you better take off that thing that you've been doing on the immigration. Just let people come already. Jeez.
Exactly.
I can see how you could help, Jaby.
I know.
I feel like your plan for having a baby with a lot of different women from different countries and having different babies is going to help the world. So I think you should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, we got letters to get to. So, this one comes from...
No, he says, please keep me anonymous.
It's his first name.
Okay.
It's his first name. No one knows who he is. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to find who that is. Anyway, I want you guys to know that I'm extremely grateful to you. Because of you guys, I finally understand what my sexual orientation is.
Oh, shit.
Turns out I'm neither straight, nor gay, nor bisexual. I'm sapiosexual. I'm physically attracted to everyone with big brains. Doesn't matter if they are male, female, gay, straight, or whatever. I'm thankful to you guys for helping me discover this about myself. It answers so many questions I've had. So, there you go.
Okay, cool.
So,
happy to help.
Sapiosexual is an interesting thing. I've seen that pop up on Tinder a lot, or used to pop on. It's not on Tinder anymore. At least I haven't seen it lately. It used to be like the go-to word for women. I'm attracted to people who are smart. God, I love your big brains.
I love your big brains. Forget about big everything else.
Yeah.
Just a big brain, please. Thanks.
I mean, there are people who are attracted to highly intellectual people. My ex-girlfriend, we'll call her D, she was attracted to my former best friend, Michael, who is gay. And she straight up told me, I think he's hot because he's so smart. I was like...
I mean, I can see that. I'm often more attracted to people who are smart or just witty or funny more so than looks because, I mean, looks, they can fade.
Ain't nothing wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with you whatsoever.
Yeah.
So this is from Annika. How are you doing? Can you please help me? I have a really bad back and knee, and I still want to lose my tummy. It's so big. I can't run. I can't walk that fast. I don't eat fast food. No pop, no sweet, sometimes ice cream. I'm lactose intolerant. We all have bigger and greater problems than this. Okay, it's not killing me. Just writing to you to join our Patreon conversation. Hoping everything is well with you. Love you. Take care. Annika. So I would say that before exercise comes diet. Diet is the biggest key in losing weight, in getting that slim tummy that you're after. And there are probably things you can do that don't require you to exert your back and knee quite so much. But there are exercises you will have to do to increase your strength there. There's no getting around that. So like abdominal exercises actually help with your back, oddly enough.
Pilates and yoga, although you have to choose the poses that are not going to cause extra stress on your joints.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. We're not physicians, and so I can't really examine you. And even if I could, I don't know that I would trust my word over, a professional's word. So I would say definitely get it looked at if you can by a professional before, you make any moves there, or a doctor at the very least. But I think there are some things you can do from the comfort of your floor,
Yeah.
Like I said, abdominal exercises. You have to see what hurts. And if it hurts, don't do that. That's what my podiatrist recommended.
Yeah, just listen to your body. You can also do some back strengthening exercises too. But obviously, like if you've got a bad back, just be very careful. And maybe if you are able, I know like right now is probably not the best time to see anyone, but if at some point you are able to see like a chiropractor or someone, a physiotherapist actually, someone who can give you some strengthening exercises for those body parts that you say you have issues with, that's going to help you a lot.
Calorie deficit is the biggest thing. So
MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, MyFitnessPal. Keep track of your calories. That right there, just the action of keeping track of your calories makes it so much harder to overeat.
Yes.
Because you are actively looking at all the calories going into your body, and you want to try to exert more calories, more energy than you're taking in. And that's how you lose weight.
Yes, but also take it from someone who's had a pseudo type of eating disorder. Like, don't get too wound up in the numbers and all that. If you fall off the wagon sometimes, like, don't beat yourself up. Tomorrow is a new day. You can start again. Like, don't go crazy with it.
Those sweets are the biggest killer. Ice cream, like that, just don't do that anymore.
You can have it as a treat. I think if you say outright, like, I can never have ice cream again, you become obsessed and you're like, oh, I need it. But if it's like, okay, I have enough space in my calorie count today,
I think it depends on the individual.
A scoop.
It depends on the individual. Some people, like for me, for instance, like there are some things I just don't touch because I know I'll get addicted to it. Like I don't even touch Muddy Buddies anymore. And I love Muddy Buddies. I don't even give it to myself as a treat because I know that if I have one, I got to have the whole bag. And if I have one bag, I need 10 bags. It's an addiction. And so food is an addiction. And these food companies know what they're doing. They know they've got you hooked like heroin. It's legal heroin. Sugar is legal heroin, literally. It's an addiction. And so if you can kick it, I would say kick it permanently. If you're able to keep it in check, like once a week, you have a little cheat, like Rithik, then if you're able to control it like that, then go ahead by all means. But otherwise, I would say just stay away from the stuff. Stay away from sweets and fake artificial sweets. Stay away from all of it.
Yeah, definitely the artificial ones.
I mean, that's my recommendation on that front. Now, next is, let's see, keep me anonymous. Address me as Gabar Singh, Sholay villain, so that I know it's my question.
Okay.
Context. I am 25 years old. I had a 7-year long-distance relationship that ended February 2020. However, the long distance became unbearable, and probably we didn't see each other as compatible as we grew up from 18 to 25, and thus mutually broke up.
Yeah.
Problem. I feel wasted. 6 years of my college life, bachelor's and master's, not education-wise, but I think it was the perfect time to meet someone due to so many options available, and crushes, Achara was one of them, that I didn't act upon. Well, you should have acted upon Achara. She was quite single. Now I'm working, and my work scene doesn't have much women of my age. Online matching with someone is just not my thing because I would like to be with someone as friend first. Online dating is like trying to impress since the beginning, and meeting someone at a club isn't that common in India. I guess I'm frustrated that I won't get my college life back and don't see opportunities to casually meet anyone now. Hope you are well and safe given the current situation. Hope you make it. Cheers. Okay, so look, here's the thing. There are plenty of women who would actually be content to be your friend first, and that might actually set you apart. If you match with someone on the Tinders, on the OkCupids, on whatever, or even build it into your profile, hey, look, I'm not your typical dude. I would like to be friends first if that works for you, so I can, figure out if we're compatible before we take things any further. They might see you as a good dude and be interested in you upon that principle alone.
True.
Achara, I know you're the kind of person that prefers
Yeah, I would much rather if I met someone on an app, I'd much rather it be like, let's just take it slow, let's be friends first, and then we'll see where this goes. Like, I'm not looking to just hook up straight away.
Yeah.
And especially now, this is the perfect time because you're not going to be seeing that person. I read a funny little meme on my Instagram today, and it was basically saying like, oh, I feel really sorry for dudes during the pandemic because now you're going to actually have to court a girl. Like, you're going to have to write to her and get to know her through text.
Who said this?
It was just a little thing, like a post, an Instagram post. And it's like, you're going to have to write and text. It's about to get real Jane Austen in this shit. Like, we're going to be pen pals first.
That is patently false. That is patently false. People are still hooking up.
They are, but like, people are more careful. You might want to talk to someone for a couple weeks before you meet up with them.
Anyone who was the type to just hook up is not careful. And they don't give two shits about the pandemic. And they're just hooking up anyway.
Well, I give two shits about the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, so do I. I'm absolutely careful. I'm as Sintel would like to say, I'm a meerkat. I'm constantly like looking out, freaked out about the world and what's going to happen, I was designed for the pandemic.
Yeah.
So my dating style is very pandemic friendly. Let's put it that way. And I'm already the pen pal type. I'm already like trying to investigate, making sure that you're not broken too much,
A little bit of broken is okay.
A little bit of broken is all right. So yeah, but anyway, I would say back to your thing. What do you want to be called? Gabar Singh. I would say that you got nothing to worry about, man. I understand the feeling of losing out on all that time. I felt the same way, honestly. And I felt it on two fronts because I dated someone all through high school. The entirety of like my high school was mostly spent on one person. We broke up temporarily, and I dated someone else for a little bit, someone much older, and then I went back to her. I went back to my long-term girlfriend, and we broke up after I got out of high school, and that was a big mistake. And then in college, I didn't really have the usual college life that most people had, so I missed out on a lot of opportunities with regards to dating. Like, I had no idea what I was missing out on until that ship completely sailed. And I was really frustrated at that notion because I was like, oh my God, there's all this opportunity for like relationships and whatnot, like people that you could meet, friends you could make. Like, you've made lots of friends you're still friends with to this day.
Yep.
And so the thing about it is, what you have to remember is you can't change shit. You are here now. This is what you've got. You got to work with what you got and move forward from here. Because if you spend all your time looking back, you're not making the best of what's in front of you. And what's in front of you right now are opportunities to meet people online. And you can put it out there. You want to be friends first and leave it at that and see what happens. That's the first step I would recommend.
If this pandemic wasn't going on and doing group activities was a thing, I would suggest joining like a class or a club or something that you're interested in, or something that a lot of girls go to and that you wouldn't mind like learning that skill, like a dance class or whatever, because then that's almost recreating the school situation, and then you can become friends with people that you see regularly, like once a week at this club or the gym or whatever class that you're taking, and maybe you could meet someone that way who has similar interests.
Need marriage advice.
Okay.
Hi, Achara and Jaby. I want to remain anonymous. I am a 27-year-old male. Recently, my family is pressuring me to get married. The thing is, I don't want to get married right now. I don't feel ready. First of all, I want to change my career by pursuing masters that will take at least 2 years, followed by 2 years of work experience. I feel like once I am on my feet and I'm able to support myself completely, then I feel I will be ready for marriage. But my parents don't want to understand this and are adamant that I do get married right now. According to them, 31 would be too late to get married, and I won't find a suitable bride by then. I don't care about that, but I just don't want to get married, and I think that should be reason enough. But on the other side, I can see my parents getting old. I try to help around the house, but still can see my mother getting tired, and now at the end of the day, I feel guilty that maybe I should bite the bullet and get married. But on the other hand, I don't want to. My mind is bouncing between a rock and a hard place. Any advice? Regards. So here's the thing, okay? And I say this all the time. You have to live for you. Yeah. Your life is your life, and you only get one shot at this. You only are guaranteed today. And so if you don't want to get married, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, disregarding the, the cultural nuances of basically Indian culture and marriage and everything that's baked into that, disregarding that for a moment, if you'll indulge me, your life is yours. And you don't know that you'll get a second life or a third or whatever. I'm not a reincarnation fan. And so with that in mind, you got to do what feels right for you. And you have to let your parents know, like, you have to let your parents know that idea, because what you're doing no good to anybody if you're going to engage in a process that is going to make you more miserable. Now, that being said, maybe you won't be miserable. If you check it out, you might meet someone that completely changes your mind, blows your mind away, and you're like, you know what? Screw it. Maybe marriage is all right, and I can still do what I want to do because this girl over here is actually very open to what I would like to do with my life. I mean, there are plenty of women who are out there that are very open-minded and would actually not mind you trying to find yourself, self-actualize, and be the best version of yourself possible by, going for your masters and whatnot.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I don't know what the culture is like, but to me, a 31-year-old man is not too old. I feel like it's probably different for women because, when a woman gets into her 30s, it's like, oh no, she's an old hag. She's not married and she's in her 30s.
I fundamentally disagree with that.
What a catastrophe. But I mean, obviously, I don't agree with that. But I'm just saying, culturally, that may be the case.
Right.
So I don't feel like 31 is too old for you if you want to take a few years just to sort yourself out. Also, I wonder regarding your mother, is there any way you can help her? Like, can you afford to hire some help around the house for her? Because it sounds like your main reason for getting married is like basically to get someone to help your mom.
To get a maid.
Yeah. So.
And you definitely don't want that.
Yeah. So why don't you just, if you can afford to hire some help, maybe for a few hours a day or, 1 day a week, maybe that would be a nice compromise.
Yeah, I would say that finding a woman just to take care of your parents, I know that that's probably a cultural thing.
Totally, yeah.
But I don't agree with that. I think that you should find a woman that likes you and you like her and you're happy. Even if it is through arranged marriage, even if it is by, traditional means, I think that at the end of the day, what's important more than anything is that you two care about each other and are willing to take care of each other and willing to grow together. That's the most important aspect. And we're in an ever-evolving world. It's changing fast. And so I think it's very important to take that into consideration as this world changes. I mean, women the whole thing is we're moving more and more towards equality as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's important to consider that.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's move on to the next email here. Hello, Jaby and Achara. How are you guys? I'm sorry if I sent this to the wrong email. If you don't mind, I want to be anonymous. If you don't mind, I want to ask a question not about love.
Okay.
If you do mind, then it's okay. You don't have to bother with my question. Lately, I have been going through Quora, especially with the lockdown and everything. During my time in Quora, I have seen answers, questions, and responses from people from a certain country that I will not name. Their response are so nationalistic, xenophobic, rude, and arrogant that it's making me hate their country with a passion. And I fear for myself because of how angry I'm becoming. These people are very annoying, and their country always fuck around in the affairs of countries in my region and is growing very powerful. I know that this is not right. Do you have any tips on how to handle this? There is nothing you can do to handle this. This is a God-sized problem that is beyond your control, and unless you're becoming a politician and running for president or running for, what do you call it? What is it? A PM, Prime Minister? Unless you're running for politics, like, this is not something that you can do anything about. And I understand the frustration, but you have to keep in mind that this is beyond your control. And I don't know, because I don't know where you're from, I don't know the politics of your country. And even if I did know where you're from, I probably wouldn't know the politics all that well, because like all you can do is vote depending on if your country is, democratic. So.
Well, I think what's going on here is you're kind of, absorbing a lot of content through Quora, and you have to realize that maybe the people who are commenting that way on Quora are not representative of everyone.
That's true.
So especially on the internet, people say some really awful things, and they can say that because they're keyboard warriors. You don't see their face, and they can say all the poison that's in their hearts and just be really mean and awful, and you're basically digesting that content. Like, I think you need a purge. I think you need to just not look at that stuff for a while and maybe look at things on the other side and try and have a balanced view so that you're not just getting all your information from one source, as Jaby often says.
Do you know anyone who does that? I don't know anybody who's a keyboard warrior. Like, I don't know. I mean, close to me. I don't have any friends that are like that. And I think it is important to consider the type of person that would do that.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone I will affectionately call Baby Yoga. And she was telling me that she often looks to like forums and whatnot to get information. And I asked her, like, have you ever contributed to a forum? Because I haven't. And it makes me wonder about the kind of person that would contribute to a forum, who, you know, like takes the time. The only kind of thing I've done that's remotely like that is Amazon reviews.
Yeah.
That's it. And I will spend time on my Amazon reviews, God damn it. I will spend a lot of time, and it helps people out, and I can see it. They voted up. Like, has helped out 27 people. Like, good, God damn it. Don't buy that goddamn thing. But anyway, you have to take into consideration the kind of person that will leave a question, leave an answer on Quora, and espouse that kind of vitriol.
Yeah.
You know, it like Achara said, is not representative in any way of the majority. At least, I would hope not. I don't know what countries you're talking about, though. So this makes it very difficult to dissect and pick apart. But
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, you got to remember that look away, goddammit. Don't look
Yeah.
at Quora. Why are you looking at it? If it's making you so upset, stop looking at it. You know, it's
Yeah.
you have an option here. And so with regards to your country or the opposing country, you have no say-so in the politics of it. I mean, more than likely you don't. And so only you got to take care of you at the end of the day. And that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
I mean, is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, you just got to be aware of like what you're surrounding yourself with. If you're just surrounding yourself with negativity, I don't think that's doing you any good. So,
My girlfriend is insecure about her looks. Pictures inside. Hello, Jaby and Achara. I've been listening to your podcast and really love your opinion on relationships and the like. As suggested by the title, my girlfriend of 3 years has recently confessed to me that she feels she does not deserve me, as she feels she's not as beautiful compared to the standard norm of beauty. Of course, this never bothered me. After you love a person not for their looks but for their heart. So for me, it's what's on the inside that counts, and she's a very good person. In fact, she's one of the most amazing people I've ever met, after you guys, of course. She's an awesome artist. You can check out some of her pieces at Instagram. I don't know if I should share this or not, because I don't want to put her on blast.
yep.
I would really appreciate it if you would discuss this issue in your next podcast. There are a lot of girls in relationships who may have the same insecurity, and it's not talked about a lot. Also, I've enclosed a picture of me and my girlfriend. Please let me know what you think. Y'all seem like a beautiful couple. I'm looking at the photo right here in front of me. You're free to use.
What are you talking about? She's beautiful.
Y'all seem like a fine couple.
Aw.
I don't know what the problem is here. She's quite cute, in fact.
I feel like
I'm
crying.
reserving information. I'm reserving words
Yeah.
because it's your girlfriend, not mine, and she's not single. And I don't want to get myself in trouble here and have you come and hunt me down and try to use some like Indian martial arts on me.
Oh, yeah.
You are free to use everything in this email. I don't think that's fair without getting her permission. So I'm not going to use anything in this email without her permission.
Well, first of all, I want to say that I think you guys are a beautiful couple, and I think that she is so cute and so beautiful, but I totally can relate. Like, I can understand what she's feeling, because I feel like, you know, we are, as women, and probably as men too, like, we're inundated with so many images of what the perfect person should look like, you know, like what the norms are, as you say, of beauty. And I feel like she's so lucky to have found someone like you who's like, you know what? I love her because of what's inside of her. And honestly, that's the key to longevity in a relationship, because we're all going to get older. We're all going to look different. And, you know, we may not be as hot as we were, you know, back when we started dating. But I feel like it's definitely a confidence thing that, you know, I think a lot of women have to work on, is knowing your own self-worth and looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, damn, I am a fine ass woman.
There is something suspect here.
What do you mean?
Like, who does this?
Who does what?
She's okay. They've been together 3 years, and she's confessed that she doesn't deserve me, as she feels she's not as beautiful compared to the standard norm. Like, have you ever heard of this? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too paranoid, but like, I just wonder what's really going on here. There's something deeper going on here. Now, you're not responsible for her insecurities. You are doing what you're supposed to do. Okay, Varun? You're telling her she's beautiful, and you're telling her you love her for who she is. That's all you can do. She's a grown woman, you're a grown man, but like, you are not her dad, and you can't You cannot take on the role of her dad. Her insecurities, you have to figure out what that's informed by, because like you're saying the media and whatnot, but it's like maybe there's something deeper at play here.
Yeah, I mean, it could be because, things that people say to you as a child can deeply affect you. And I feel like, especially in Asian cultures, people can be very flippant towards things that they say to children. I've seen a video of this like really cute, sweet girl.
Yeah.
She's, I can't remember how old, like 5 years old or something. I think she was a Sri Lankan girl, and she was darker skinned, and she was like, oh, when my sister gets married, she's going to be so beautiful. And then the woman who was talking to her was like, oh, well, you'll be beautiful too. And she was like, no, I won't be beautiful because I'm too dark. She was 5 years old, and she'd already internalized that narrative about herself. So you think about the different things that maybe people throughout our lifetimes have said to us, like, oh, your nose is too big, you're too fat, or you're too skinny, you're too tall, you're too short.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to work through, and I feel like she has to do that internal work to realize that your self-worth doesn't come just from your looks alone, and you have so much more to offer, and you are worthy, and you need to tell yourself that every day.
Yeah, but the thing about it is she has to find this on her own. Like, he can tell her all that information, but it seems like she's really stuck in this mode, and I'm asking why, because it could be as simple as culture. I've watched videos on that. I think I did a reaction on it, on how the darker women in India, have this complex because of, these beauty products, that skin whitening cream, and then you see the celebrities and they're all lighter color and all that stuff. And, family goes after you saying, oh, you're dark. You're not as whatever. And so it could be as simple as that, though she doesn't seem very dark skin, very, was it called dusky? Is that what the word is? And so I would investigate a little bit. I would carefully investigate and observe and ask questions. And this is a time to really, really listen and hear between the lines. Like, what is she not saying? I would be very carefully inquisitive and go, okay, how does her mom talk to her? What is she reading? What is she watching? What is informing this idea? And why all of a sudden does she not deserve you? Like, I'm immediately like wondering if there's something else borderline nefarious going on. Like, is she trying to leave him and is just like not comfortable with like just ending it outright? I get really confused about all this stuff, and that's where my mind goes. Like, why? Because I haven't ever had a girlfriend tell me I'm not cute enough for you. I've had girlfriends tell me, oh, you'd be a cuter match with that girl who I'm talking to or whatever, like a friend or something. Or like, okay, my second girlfriend would often tell me, oh, you'd be a much cuter couple if you were dating like a Mexican girl or something like that. And she was Chinese. And so like, I have no idea what informs these things, but that's sort of like a weird thing that some women do. But I would still like investigate, because it could be one of two things in my opinion. Either there's some sort of deep rooted insecurity from her family, or there's something else going on that's suspect. And I would try to get to the bottom of that without making it obvious that you're investigating. Hopefully she's not listening to this goddamn podcast, but I would do that,
I mean, you may have a point there, but I just want to say, as someone who's felt the things that you're saying your girlfriend feels, like, I understand. There's definitely been moments where I've been with a boyfriend and thought, oh, wow, like, they're so amazing, and I just don't match up. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough.
So you genuinely thought that you weren't pretty enough to be with the person and you should leave based on that principle alone?
No, I didn't want to leave. I just had insecurities. And I feel like 3 years in, maybe she feels comfortable to share those with you.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Have you or anyone you know ever had the thought of, I don't deserve to have him and I shouldn't be with him because I'm not beautiful enough? That's a very specific thought, and that's what I'm trying to go after here. Because it could be as simple as, and innocent and innocuous as what's on paper here. It could be that simple, but I'm always inclined to ask more questions. And more often than not, when I do, I find something else. And it's like, oh, that's what it was. And it's not that simple. So
maybe. I don't know. I mean, I all I'm saying is, like, I've definitely had those thoughts, but usually
I'm not
I
denying that. I'm not
brush it aside.
I'm not denying that you've had insecurities. I'm not shutting that down. I'm not trying to discount that. I understand insecurities. I have insecurities. That's totally real, right? But what I'm driving at is the idea of I don't deserve to be with you because I'm not what do you call it? Just beautiful
Yeah,
enough.
I don't know if I've ever had the thought of like, I don't deserve to be with you, but I've definitely had the thought of I wouldn't be surprised if you left me because X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
Okay, you might be onto something there. So what she might be doing is creating a narrative in order to protect herself. And what will inevitably end up happening if she's not careful, and you should let her know this, is she's creating a self-fulfilled prophecy. Because she is... Okay, a long time ago, I had a crush on this Thai girl, Amy. And Achara's talked to her once.
Not me.
And Amy, she liked me, and I didn't know that she liked me. And so what happened was my good friend at the same martial arts school told me, this girl clearly has a crush on you. And so I would email back and forth with Amy, and I asked her straight up, I'm like, hey, I was just wondering, do you have feelings for me? And she goes, yeah, but nothing's going to happen, so it doesn't matter. I'll just stop it. Like, she was shooting it down before anything could happen because she had assumed that I would not like her back. And at the time, she would have been right. Come to find out 3 years later, she's hot. I'm like, God damn it. But anyway, I dismissed her for the wrong, stupidest reason possible. And Achara knows what it is. And that's why she's shaking her head. But my point is that sometimes I think women do this more than men, where they build in this destruction, this end, so that they sort of give themselves a cushion to land on when the event happens, when that thing happens that is going to definitely hurt. So maybe she's under the impression that maybe you might leave her because she feels like she's not pretty enough. I would also wonder, what kind of friends do you have? Do you have like female friends that are really hot and it makes her feel insecure? Like, these are the things I start to wonder about, you know? Anyway, lots of questions for you.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge topic. I could talk about it at length, but I'm not going to. But I just want your girlfriend to know that she is beautiful and that she's extremely talented. Look, she's an artist, and it sounds like she's a really lovely person. So I want you to remember that about yourself, and remember that you are worthy because you are.
Try to figure it out, but also remember that these are big problems that it's not your responsibility to fix her. It's your responsibility to be there for her and help her through her process.
Yeah. Don't
try to fix her. So you help her fix herself.
Yes.
This is from, let's see, do I want to keep it or not? Okay, Mina is the person's name.
Okay.
Hey, Jaby and Achara, firstly, just want to say thank you, as your videos always make my day, and I always look forward to them. You guys have helped me when I was low. Anywho, my problem is family work related. I've recently got a job to go and live in Turkey. I live in London with my family, but I'm nervous to go as I have never been away from family. Moving countries has always been my dream since I was young, and I feel very grateful that I have this opportunity. However, the problem is that my dad is against me going, as he has some sexist thoughts. My family, more specifically my dad, is not the most peaceful, so I'm scared to make my mom isolated and lonely. What shall I do? Shall I sacrifice my dream, or shall I take care of my mom? This opportunity is the most important thing for me, and so is my mom. Oh, please watch Fana with Amir and Kajol, Kuch Kuch Hota Hey with SRK and Kajol. So, hold on. Is she saying that her dad is violent?
It sounds like that may be what she is insinuating, or that maybe he has a propensity towards that.
Is there a way you can take your mom with you?
That's what I'm wondering.
I immediately think of the film, one of my favorite Indian films.
Secret Superstar.
Secret Superstar.
Yeah.
Oh, God, this is tough.
Yeah, this is super tough.
So here's the thing. I would watch Secret Superstar. Let's start with that. I would watch Secret Superstar and see what inspires you there. But I would definitely say don't sacrifice your dream. What you have to remember are a couple of things. And I was just talking to a friend of mine. I will call her Sonar. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was dealing with an issue with a parent. And I was telling her, it's like, you are not supposed to take care of your parents. Your parents are supposed to take care of you, right? It's like, if they want to be stubborn and hurt themselves, you have to let them. You have to express your concerns, express how it makes you feel, let them know how it troubles you, and leave it at that. You cannot be them. You cannot live their life for them.
Yeah.
You have to let them know how you feel and let them be. And that was one of the most difficult things for me to accept with my dad. I kept trying to fix him. And I kept telling him all these things he needed to do and trying to steer him towards good, get him back to good. And it took me well after his passing to realize I had no control over that, and it wasn't my problem. Like, it was his problem, and I was making it my problem. I was owning it rather than just accepting him for who he is and loving him for who he is. And that's one of the most difficult things to do when you see the flaws in your family. It's like there's this weird thing that happens. You get to a certain point in your teenage years and you realize, oh, my parents are fucked up. Like, they're not perfect. And it's a very difficult realization because you've looked up to them for so long and they were your gods. They were your masters. And for all intents and purposes, they were perfect. They were your guide for like what a grown-up is supposed to be. And then you get to a certain point, you're like, oh, wait, you're just winging this like everybody else. We're all just sort of winging this. And you get older and older and realize more and more that everyone's just sort of guessing at what to do.
Yeah, and then you get older and you realize you have to undo all the programming that happened.
All the mistakes that happened as a result of bad guesses.
Yeah.
Right? And so what I would say here is this. Convey to your mom your feelings.
Yes.
Convey to her your concerns. Convey to her your fears. But you have to live for yourself. Offer your mom options. Offer your family options. I mean, I don't know what kind of dialogue you have with your dad. It sounds like your dad's kind of a jerk. So offer your mom options and say what you are willing to do. But I would say in each of those options, it has to be you're leaving. You are going.
And I'm sure because your mom loves you, she's going to want you to go for your dreams. I think all our parents, you know, they love us and they want us to do the things that make us happy ultimately. I know that's not always the case, but I think in most cases it is. And if she knows that that's your dream, I'm sure she's going to say like, I'm going to be fine. You know, I want you to go and do the thing that you want to do. And yeah, like Jaby says, like give her options and check in on her often.
I would try to figure out what's going on with your dad. I mean, some of those things are deep-seated, so deep-rooted you can't do anything about it. Some of it is like impossible to change, but you can try having a dialogue. You can attempt a conversation with him and see where it goes, but you have to walk that very carefully, especially when they're very ignorant about things, when they're very stuck in their ways about very archaic thinking. You have to walk that carefully and be very inquisitive, ask lots of questions, and lead them through thoughts with your questions, trying to take them to good, if that makes any sort of sense. Like, you can't just tell them your way of thinking is wrong. You have to start with, why do you think that?
Yeah,
why
questions.
do you feel that way? And keep leading them towards the proper thought so that it feels like for them, they found it on their own. That's the weirdest psychological trick ever.
That's the one that I use on my mom the most. Like new thought inception.
Yeah. Thought inception inception is really the key.
Yeah.
And that's the most difficult trick ever. But it's really key here, I think, in terms of helping your relationship with your dad, because maybe there's a way forward here where you don't have to pull your parents apart, where you don't have to lose your relationship with your dad, where you don't have to turn your back on him. Maybe there's a way forward here, and you have to walk that very carefully, especially if he's a violent person. I would definitely, oh man, like I know the feeling though. Like I wouldn't want to leave my mom behind in that problem, in that kind of situation. I've been written to by fans on Instagram. Did you know some people have an issue with me using the word fan?
Oh, okay.
Like,
what would they prefer?
I don't know. Followers, subscribers, bigger words. That's like fan is just easier. It's like it's an all-encompassing word for everything. And I don't mean like I'm up on my high horse with all my fans who are below me. I am the majestic Jaby Koay. Like I'm not like that. I'm just a dude. You know, I'm fans of people. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I was written to by someone who was saying that like they got beat. Their mom got beat up a lot, and then they had to intervene, and then they got beat up by their dad, and like it's a very violent situation. That person like wrote a poem or something, and I think I read it out on a video.
Yeah, I think you did.
But it was like really troubling. And so there are some things that are beyond your control, and you try to have a conversation with your dad and see where it goes. See if you can help him, lead him back to good, or
just get your mom out of the situation.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, there might be a way to plant seeds, because nothing, especially something that's deep rooted, is not going to change overnight.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff takes a lot of time. So if there's a way to plant seeds and move forward in a dialogue with your dad so that you can improve things, you might be able to get your cake and eat it too. There might be a way forward there. So I would just, be very inquisitive and listen a lot. Listen and ask questions. But definitely if it's a situation where your dad is just very physically abusive, the chances are you can't change him. And chances are he's not going to go to therapy to try to get that fixed. He's probably very stubborn and very set in his ways. And the only option is for you and your mom to depart from the situation, unfortunately. I'm very, very sorry for your situation.
If that means that you have to go to Turkey first and get situated and like kind of, get your finances in order and get whatever documents you need, then, you do that and then you like come grab your mom.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm writing to you because I'm a huge admirer of both of you. I love hearing your opinions on everything, so I want to know what you think of my situation. This is from Pooja, if I didn't say that already. There's this guy I work with. He's the same age as I am, but he's my superior. We worked together for 3 years, and we had a cordial relationship. So when I was assigned to his department, being the same age, we grew closer. He admitted one day that he was attracted to me. I didn't think much of it, but as days grew, I was attracted to him too. We made out a couple of times, but turns out he has a thing going on with a previous colleague of ours, and he still continues to see her. When asked, he said he's going to continue to see her, but he wants me too. And I'm not supposed to be understanding. I'm supposed to be understanding about it as she was in his life for a lot longer. I have no idea how to feel about this. I'm not in love or anything, but I'm insanely jealous every time they meet because I know what's happening. What do I do, Jaby and Achara? P.S. By the way, he's engaged to be married to a different girl, and I'm already married. Oh my lord, y'all are just one big happy mess.
Wow!
So.
Oh my god, the drama. Okay, sorry.
How dare you get jealous, first and foremost?
Hey, it's a natural feeling. I'm not going to shame her for being jealous, but like, should she be? Like,
first and foremost, okay, we have to like set a couple of ground rules here, or like at least establish a couple of things. First and foremost, are you comfortable with the fact that you're cheating on your husband?
Oh yeah, that's
let's start with that. Are you comfortable with the fact that he is cheating on his fiance?
And girlfriend.
No. Well, that's not even part of the conversation yet. You have to establish that. Are you comfortable with those things? Because there's a lot of things going on. How would you feel if you found out your husband was cheating on you?
Right.
Is he faithful? Like how? Start with that. Like maybe you need to dissolve that marriage. Like what are you doing? And by the same token, there are some people who get off on that. Who this is so tricky because I don't know if I'm supposed to feel bad for the husband, but like, some people get gratification out of being in a relationship and cheating. Like I had a friend stay with me for about a month. We'll call her Stinky Head McGee because I know she's not listening to this. She was staying here for about a month, Stinky Head McGee, and I found out that she was a chronic cheater. It was just like baked into her system and she was going to therapy for it. And it was like kind of wild because she was just very forthright about it. I didn't know her that well. I just knew she needed a place to stay. I helped her out and she started talking about this. And she was seeing someone and he knew about it. And like he was like with her, being patient, letting her work through it. And so some people are just addicted to that kind of situation. Now, it might also be a situation where you don't like your husband and you're in an arranged marriage and wish you could just get out of it, but you can't because of familial ties, culture, whatever it might be, shame. And so that's tricky. I would say you live life once. If you're attracted to him and you're obviously okay with the fact that he's cheating on his fiance, you already know something's going on there. So I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Like that's a tricky situation. Like you just got to, it seems like you got to live for you at this point. If you're having fun, fuck it. Have fun. But I don't think it's the healthiest of situations.
No.
I think that it's actually quite unhealthy, but that doesn't mean you should stop. Just because it's unhealthy, like chocolate's unhealthy and I'll still eat it, And so obviously that's comparing apples and oranges, but.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I think the most important thing is to ask, what do you want? Like if what you want is just to continue this dalliance with this guy and have your stolen kisses and makeout sessions and have that fun, illicit relationship, then fine. But you know what's going on. And okay, the jealousy thing, I get it. It's a natural emotion and it can drive you crazy because you know what's happening. I understand completely. But then I think you have to investigate why, like really ask questions like, why am I feeling that? What is that? What is that insecurity there? Because
She's possessive.
but why? You don't own him.
Doesn't matter. Like you said, doesn't matter. She's possessive.
Yeah, but I feel like you can work your way through an emotion like jealousy by just asking questions like, okay, but why am I jealous? I don't own him. Like, I have no ownership over him. He's not my boyfriend. He's not my husband.
Yeah.
Like, and I knew about this situation the whole time, and I am willingly engaging in it. So whatever.
There's a question.
Let it go.
There's a question you asked in a previous podcast. What do you want? What is the end game here for you? Like, what do you want to come of this? Because it doesn't sound like you. I don't know. The fact that you're jealous could speak volumes, but it doesn't sound like you want anything with him. It doesn't sound like you should have anything with him unless you're both comfortable being in an open relationship. And then if that's the case, then maybe you're perfect for each other. But if you don't want him, or rather, let me back up. If you do want him, you should really evaluate that because he will cheat on you too.
Yeah, because this guy is not the type of guy who's going to be faithful to his future wife. He's just not.
Yeah.
And you already know that.
He's a man of power, and he loves control. Is
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
Even just his response to you, like, yeah, well, I'm not going to quit this relationship with this woman. You're like, okay, then. You don't have to say okay if you don't want it.
The biggest thing I would stress more than anything is be careful if you guys have sex. That's the biggest thing I would stress. You don't want to catch anything because it sounds like this guy's pretty. What's the word I'm looking for?
He's out there.
What's the word I'm looking for? He's promiscuous.
Yes.
Very promiscuous. So just be careful with that. I mean, honestly, what should you do? You should stop.
Yeah.
It's that simple, but I know you're not going to. So I'm reluctant to say that, but you should just stop. You should talk to your husband. You don't have to tell him that don't ever tell him that you cheated on him. Ever. 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 Don't ever tell him what happened. But I would really evaluate that relationship and see if you want to keep it going. And if there's a way to end it, then maybe end it because you're obviously not happy in your marriage. Or figure out if you can have an open marriage. There are lots of people who do that. I know that's not really typical in Indian culture, but maybe that's a possibility. You know, I don't know what kind of man your husband is. So there's a lot of missing information here. If I could talk to you, it would be a lot easier to figure this out.
Yeah.
But,
would you be okay with your husband having like a relationship with another woman?
dalliances.
Little secret trysts and romance.
Yeah, you got to evaluate a lot. You got a lot of questions to ask yourself, but the simple answer here is stop with this guy unless you want an open relationship, and end the relationship with your husband if you aren't happy. You know, if you're not, or try to figure out if you can work it out, because sometimes cheating comes from, you know, just unresolved issues in your marriage, and you just haven't been able to figure it out. And a big reason why is because you're not communicating.
Yeah.
You know, like start with that and see where that takes you. That's my advice.
Yeah, good advice.
So, all right. So next, I don't think we're going to get through all these emails. This one's interesting. It's sort of a bullet point email. Please read this. School love, college love. This is from, does he want to be anonymous? Okay. Debanjan, I guess is his name.
Okay.
Hi guys, love you cuties as always. First instances of love in my 11th standard about 6 years ago. Had a massive crush on this girl. Did not have the balls to say it. Was just a friend to her. It turned bitter by the day. I was too emotional about explaining things, and it just irritated her out. It took me a great deal of time to get over her. Now it's just that I miss that amazing feeling and not the person anymore. That's actually
relatable.
That's actually a very, very insightful way to look at it. That's a very insightful way,
just
because
like that high of like having a crush or feeling in love, you know.
Well, one of the things that messed me up was when I realized that I had lingering feelings for the idea of a person, not the person themselves.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Second instance, in my college, I found a friend. We got along and chatted a lot. I wanted to ask her out. I checked with her always when I felt I was just talking a lot. After 3 years, she comes to say I had been forcing my friendship and that she doesn't want it just a couple of days before I planned on asking her out. Wait, what? I checked on her always when I felt I was just talking a lot. After 3 years, she comes to say that I've been forcing my friendship and she doesn't want it just a couple of days before I plan on asking her. What? Why are you waiting 3 years? Anyway, I really don't know what happened. So my question is, why can't people just communicate? Dude, ask yourself that question. Why didn't you communicate with her?
Good point.
Life would have been so much easier to handle. You know, like women will wait, but goddamn, Like, how long do you want her to wait? You should have made your feelings clear. I mean, maybe you learned it later. Maybe you didn't realize you had feelings for her until later on. But I agree with you. It is frustrating that people just don't communicate properly. A lot of women on the dating apps will just ghost you instead of telling you, you know what, I'm not feeling this. And because they don't want to have to deal with the guys who I think are far and few between, with the guys who go, why not? You know,
just give me a chance. Like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. Women don't want to deal with that,
so
even though that's not the majority.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of, and not to blame women for lack of communication, by the way, because men are assholes too, and they'll totally ghost a woman as well. So all you can do is live by example.
Agree.
That's all you can do. You communicate. You show them how it's done, and don't forget that part of communication is listening. You know, people think communication, I was guilty of this, people think communication is simply speaking and talking your feelings and saying but you have to listen as well and have that nuanced dialogue. You know, dialogue is listening as well. And also, like I say, listen to what's not being said. That's the hardest thing. You know, women communicate in a fundamentally different way than men do. And
yes, very much so. There's a lot of subtext when talking with women, and I think women are just maybe a little bit better at reading that subtext because that's how we communicate too. It's not really like exactly what you said. It's like how you said it and the words that you used or didn't use. Yeah, there's a lot.
This is from Bonk, Bonk, Bonk. The subject is complications.
Oh.
Hey guys, I love your work. You guys have cheered me virtually when I have hit rock bottom and through some dark times. I'll keep my name anonymous. Okay, well, you're gonna have to cut that out. So a couple of years ago, my friends and I played a prank on the guy who now I like, and I celebrated Valentine's week with him. I thought we both had brushed it off as a joke. But 2 months before I moved to the U.S., he made our mutual friend tell me he likes me, and again, I brushed it thinking it was just a prank. But after a couple of drunk I love you texts from him, I realized he was serious. We never addressed the issue directly, but indirectly we stopped anything as we thought surely long distance wouldn't work out. I got engrossed with my life in the U.S. and he got in a relationship, but that didn't go for long. And all this time we kept getting more emotionally closer. And he behaved like we were in long distance, but I needed something solid, like for him to say he likes me. He said, I love you.
That was before, and he was drunk, okay?
And some commitment, or just put this all behind us. I didn't see him having the guts, so I told him this, and we discussed how since we have been friends for 6 years and already in a different continent, we would skip the dating period and we would go directly to serious. And again, the long distance stuff was there, and he never told I like you when sober, so I agreed and said, okay, I will move on, but I need space for some time, but he wasn't ready to let me go. But then he understood and gave me space for 3 months, but now he has crept up to be my friend again. Now I don't know how to move on. You need to learn how to use commas and periods. I feel like he really liked me. Sorry, I've been reading lots of emails.
Yes.
I feel if he really liked me, he would have done something about it by now, or if he likes me, and that is why he is not letting go in either situation. I want to move on. Please help.
Oh God, that's confusing. Jaby, you're a man. Decipher this behavior. I'm so confused.
This is a woman, right?
I know, but decipher the man's behavior.
What did he say? I feel like if he really liked me, he would have done something about it by now. Or if he really likes me, that is why he is not letting go in either situation.
Yeah, because he's not like being clear either way. He's acting as if he's her boyfriend. He's her long distance boyfriend. He's probably like checking up on her every day, writing her cute messages, talking on the phone. Like,
you know, okay, there is this slightly confusing thing that I have discovered with Indian men. And that is, here in the States, there's a clear delineation of masculine behavior and feminine behavior. With Indian culture, the more I talk to Indians, the more confused I get about what is stereotypical. Because it seems like there's a lot of masculine women, I'm basing this on American principles and American sensibilities, by the way.
Okay.
I see this and I go, this reminds me of some of the behavior I might see in American women, what he's doing. But the thing is, it's like it doesn't seem out of the realm of possibilities as just a typical thing where the way he's talking and behaving is very confusing. And so you have men who, and I don't mean any of this in a negative way, by the way. You have men who, because I relate to it. So you have men who who carry feminine qualities to a degree, and women who carry masculine qualities. For instance, I have a friend who I'll call D, who she will totally like sleep with a dude and then leave him. And she's Indian.
Okay.
And she's just like, I'm done. I'm good. And I've heard this from multiple Indian women who have talked to me through the internet, through Instagram, through YouTube, whatever, where they're comfortable to sleep with a dude and then be done with it. They're like, I don't need a commitment. And they'll just ghost the guy, right? And this is more typical of American men than American women, as far as I understand. I mean, I don't like spend time with those kinds of people too much who are like that casual. But I know that men are more likely to just ghost a girl after sleeping with her. They're like, just done. They're just good. They got what they wanted. They got theirs. They move on. And I've heard this from Indian women. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm so confused. Like, I thought, and then I'm like trying to piece it together where you have these men who get attached real quick, and women, and the Indian women are like, no, I don't want it. I'm good. I got mine.
Right.
And so that's what I'm trying to decipher when I look at this, because she clearly is all about like clear communication. She's very logical, stereotypical of American men, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's emotional, stereotypical of American women.
Yep.
So you can see my confusion, right? And so I'm an emotional guy. And I think that's why me and Indian men connect so well, because I'm an emotional dude, but I'm also logical at the same time. But I can get really emotional and let that like really persuade me in one direction or the other. So it sounds like he just can't make up his mind and he doesn't know how to communicate it. And he obviously wants you to make the move, is what it comes down to. He wants you to commit for the both of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
that's what women do.
Well, yeah. So like, what do you want? Do you want to be with this guy? Like, what's going on?
She wants. This is the confusing. I think there's a transition going on in India. I'm trying my best to like understand this and decipher it. I think there's a transition going on where, God, how do I phrase this? She just wants him to. Okay, this is what it is. So she wants him to take the reins and be a man, but what it is to be a man has evolved. That's the problem. So we're caught in a transitional period. Because back in in the 50s, for instance, in America, man likes a girl, goes up to her, tells her she's attracted to him. Okay, cool. They get married.
Yeah.
They have lots of kids because you didn't know who was going to survive.
Yeah.
In the previous generation, so what carried on was this notion of having lots of kids.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to so much because of medical science and all that. But anyway, my point is that's what it was back then. Now it's a lot more confusing. It's a lot different than it was before. Now people aren't even getting married. They're waiting much longer to have children. And the dynamics of male and female, like just, let's set aside the LGBTQ thing for a second. The dynamics of male and female is more confusing than it's ever been because of how things have evolved. We're in a transitional state.
Yeah.
And maybe it's arguable we've always been in a transitional state, but it just seems like looking back, everything's easier. It's 2020 in hindsight, right? But looking back, it just looked like things were quite clear cut and simple. Like, I like you, you like me, cool, let's do it. Let's get married.
Yeah.
High school sweethearts. This is confusing because we're in a transitional state in terms of love, in terms of relationships. And so you need to decide, I can't say your name. You need to decide if you want him and then decide for the both of you. That's what he wants. You obviously have a connection. And nobody's perfect. Like I hear, what I hate hearing from women is, what's up? You have a confused look.
Oh, I was just reading the end of her sentence. She says, I want to move on. So maybe she doesn't want to be in a
I don't think she wants to move on in terms of I don't want him. I think she just wants to move forward.
Okay, gotcha.
She wants to move forward, either direction. She says either situation, I want to move on. What she really means is I want to move forward.
Okay, gotcha.
She failed to use commas and periods appropriately, so I have to figure out. Anyway, that just sort of threw me.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
What did I just say a second ago?
Oh God.
I completely forgot what I was saying.
About taking action or something.
So you have to decide for the both of you. First off, decide if you want him, right?
Yeah.
Start with that. Do you want him? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. Decide for the both of you. This is what we're doing. He wants you to take charge. Oh, what I was trying to say was this. Nobody's perfect. And one of the things that I hate is when women go, if a guy can't walk up to me and tell me his feelings, then I don't want him. It's like, but maybe that's the dude that you want.
Exactly. And maybe that is. And that's the thing. Because sometimes the guy who's going to be confident enough to walk up to you is a narcissistic asshole. And maybe you don't want him.
Exactly.
You want that cute guy, that sweet guy who will like think the world of you and love you until the day you die. And maybe he's the guy who's just too shy to talk to you right now.
When I was in college, the thing I would do is I would write my name and number and email on a piece of paper, and I would just give it to the girl and then walk away because I was too nervous to talk. You have no idea how many times that worked.
Really?
Yes.
You're just lucky because you're cute.
It worked. I mean, it didn't work all the time, but it worked often enough that girls would like text me or email me because I was so shy.
That happened to me one time when I was working at the restaurant I used to work at, but it was so annoying because it was a table full of 4 guys.
Oh, yeah, I heard this.
And this guy left me his number and his name, and I was like, well, there's one guy at the table that I thought was cute, but I have no idea which one gave me his number. I'm not going to call, dingbat. You should have told me which color t-shirt you were wearing.
So what you should have done is said, are you on MySpace? Are you on Friendster? Are you on, what are we using now? Facebook.
Instagram.
Well, I mean, if it was Instagram around, so
Yeah.
then ask him what his Instagram is.
No, because he left. I didn't see it until after they all left. So I would have had to like,
Yeah, but you start a dialogue and you go, what's your Instagram? Then you could know if it was the guy that you liked.
oh, God damn it. It's too late now.
I'm just saying, you fucked up.
I did.
So,
But he screwed up first.
no, he did what he was supposed to do. Like,
He was supposed to say, I was the one wearing the blue stripy t-shirt. And I would have been like, okay, I'm going to call you.
how's he thinking that? He said, you don't have any idea how nerve-wracking it is to just do that? You're expecting way too much.
Okay, I'm one of those girls. Sorry.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you have to accept that he is not perfect at this stage of communication, right? Or communication at this stage, rather. I got that backwards. He's not the most confident when it comes to communication at this stage. You have to own that for the both of you if you think he's worth it. If you think he's worth it, let him know, hey, you make the fucking first move. You tell him, I like you. What are you waiting for? Tell me you like me. You like me? Awesome. Let's work this out. Done. You did it. Now you can move forward with the situation. But if you don't feel strongly about him, then you, again, need to move on for the both of you.
Right.
So it's that simple.
And like, if you want that to be the decision that you're making, then you need to set that boundary and be like, no, you can't just leave me alone for 3 months and then try and reinsert yourself into my life. I'll let you know when I'm ready to talk to you.
Okay.
So don't talk to me until then.
I think we have time for one more email, unfortunately. There's like a number of emails we couldn't get to. Hi, Jaby and Achara. You can use my name. I don't mind. It's Amon. I live in India, but 2 years ago, I attended a summer school in UC Berkeley, during which I made friends from places like China and Taiwan. The subject, by the way, is the one with email, not about love.
Okay.
The syntax is a little funny there, but it's fine. I attended school in UC Berkeley, during which I made friends from places like China and Taiwan. The Chinese government had already banned all social media applications like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So we decided to stay in touch over a Chinese social media app, WeChat. Although it's been 2 years, I still talk to many of those friends, and I find it very interesting to share news and happenings of our countries with each other. We recently discussed how our respective countries are dealing with the pandemic, as well as the well-being of our families. However, amid the current tension between India and China, 59 apps, including WeChat, were immediately banned, and within an instant, I lost all contact with my foreign friends.
That sucks.
That really
you
sucks.
didn't even have their emails?
I have no way to contact them or letting them know about my predicament. I miss them and sincerely hope that the governments of the respective countries can work this out peacefully. What you can do, man, maybe, is, God, how does that work? Can the Indian government just, like, go into your phone? Like, how does that work?
The apps are banned now. They no longer work.
So what if he uses a VPN? Like, is there a way to use a VPN so that he can at least connect with his friends for a second? Or is the Indian government going to send people to black bag him? Like, how does that work?
I don't know. I really don't know how that works.
Okay, so Amon, what I would suggest is this. See if you have any family in the States who can get in touch with your friends on your behalf. Because maybe WeChat is not banned in the States yet, if at all. And if you can use WeChat, if one of your family members can use WeChat over here, then they can contact your friends and give them your email address so you can email them.
Yeah.
Or text them like actual on WhatsApp or something. So that's what I would suggest. That's the best thing I can think of.
Yeah, that sucks. That really sucks. I feel bad for you.
All right, we'll end on this one. For your love, Zindagi podcast. Hey, Jaby and Achara, my name is Rahul. You can take my first name as it's very common. I'm 18 years old and have no past relationship experience, but I do have a few female friends. One of them is my best friend from childhood, and I slowly started to like her, but a lot. I slowly started to like her a lot, but I've never had the courage to ask her out. I have this constant fear of being rejected and losing her as my friend also. She is really understanding, but my fear grew when she was in a relationship with a common friend of ours, and he dumped her. Now they are not even on talking terms, and I think Still, she's not over him. We've been friends for almost 6 years, and during the first 4 years, we talked a lot. But then she discovered that I liked her, and by her behavior, I can definitely tell that she didn't like me. So I silently backed out and rather focused on my studies just to keep my friendship going at least. But now my educational goals are achieved. But that relationship of her has made it difficult for me to reach out. We are still talking, but it still doesn't have that spark. I think I might be friend zoned. I honestly don't know and still don't have the courage to ask her out. Please help me out. For Jaby, it's like asking Achara out if you haven't spoken much after 2 years.
I think Jaby would just ask me out anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate.
Yeah, he'd just be like, all right, you going out with me or what?
That's not how I would do it, but I would totally just ask.
Yeah, you would. That's totally your style.
Here's the thing, man. And it's cliche as hell, but a lot of fish in the sea.
Yeah.
And you don't want to waste your time on someone who doesn't like you. You know, you've got a limited time on this earth. You got a limited time in your youth. Okay? You're not young forever. And you got to enjoy that shit while you can. Because once it goes, and it sucks when it goes. Shit starts to ache. You're like, God damn it, that's new. It's not good. It's not new good.
You start feeling bitter about stuff.
It's new bad. It's all new bad. It just gets new bad more and more. So you need to enjoy and make the most of your youth. And put it on the table. Be like, look, I know that I don't know. Like, I don't know how you go about this. For me, if I was in your position, based on what you're saying, I'd reach out and be like, look, maybe I'm not the most ideal candidate for you. I don't know if it's the looks or my personality or whatever, but I like you a lot. And I've liked you for a long time, and I haven't had the balls to ask you or say anything until now. I got inspired, and I'm not going to say why. Secretly, it's Jaby Koay. So I got inspired, and I decided to just tell you how I feel. And, you know, maybe there's other guys out there for you that you think are more qualified, but I can guarantee you that I will be faithful and I will be compassionate and caring and loving. I care deeply for you. I mean, maybe don't say deeply for you, but put it out there and just put it out there. Women like that shit. Just put it out there.
Yeah, but then
if you lose the friendship, so what? You're already losing the friendship, so fuck it. Just put it out there.
You don't necessarily have to lose the friendship. As someone who, when I was in school,
he said the spark isn't there.
Oh, well then why are you trying to be with her? I don't get it.
No, he's saying the spark isn't there as a friend. He's at the last line. We are still talking, but it doesn't have that spark. I think I might be friend zoned. So she's got him.
She's friend zoned him.
Yeah, she's got him at
an arm's length.
Arm's length, at a distance. So what you have two options here. You can put it on the table or cut communication. Sometimes this weird thing happens when you cut communication. Women get scared and they're like, "What happened?" And they try to reestablish communication. And that's your opportunity. You have to decide what you say when she reaches back out. So, in fact, I would make that the first move. Just cut communication. Don't respond anymore for a while, and let her get a little bit worried and inquire, "What's wrong? What did I do? Where are you? Haven't heard from you in a while." And when you finally decide to respond, you got to decide what that is, because that is key. Okay, so let's say he cuts communication with her. She reaches out, right? What does he say to her in order to let her know how she feels and make it work so that she likes him back?
That is so complicated, okay? Because I don't know.
Okay, so
there's got to be something there for her to like.
Okay, maybe that's terrible advice. But let's explore it for a second.
Okay.
So let's explore it. Okay, so he cuts off communication with her. She's like texting him and whatever, and he goes, "What's up?" She goes, "How come you're not talking to me?" He goes, "What are you?"
I've been busy.
You go, "I've just been busy." You know, you could lie. You could say that you met somebody, or just go see someone else. Actually date someone else. Fuck this girl.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit about her? She doesn't have the respect for you that she's like keeping you at arm's length. She doesn't see the value of you as like, you're obviously a good dude. So If she can't see that, then fuck her. Let her go, dude.
Yeah,
go meet someone else.
It comes back to the thing that Jaby said at the very beginning of this, which is there's plenty more fish in the sea and you're really young. Like one of my really, really good friends, Karan, had a crush on me in 10th grade. And it was very awkward for about 2 weeks because I could feel that something had changed in our relationship. Like he was acting weird. And I'm like, what's going on? And then he admitted like 2 weeks later, he's like, yeah, I had a crush on you, but I don't anymore. So we're good. And I'm like, okay, so you don't have a crush on me anymore? No. I'm like, okay.
That was stupid on his part.
Phew. Because I wasn't attracted to him that way. I just liked him as a friend. Like
well, maybe you would have liked
totally
him. Maybe
friend-zoned him.
Maybe you would have liked him. He does like the thing about it. Women are weird and finicky. Like he could have come up to you and said, "Hey, I have feelings for you."
Listen,
and just put it out there.
We've been in some weird situations throughout the years, and there has never been a moment where it has ever crossed my mind that I've gone, yeah, this might be the moment. This might be Karan's lucky day.
No, but the thing about it is, if you put it out there, you might feel differently. That's what I'm saying. Is
I know who I was at that time.
All right, well,
I was like super
okay,
focused.
All
on
I'm
my
trying to say is this: for the guys for the guys that are listening, okay, don't listen to her. If you like someone, just put it out there. So
Yeah.
the thing about it is, there's a lot of women who go, oh, I never think of you that way, and let it percolate. Don't force it. Just put it out there. Let it percolate. Let them figure it out. And then they might come back and say, you know what? Let's give it a shot.
No, I mean, I agree with that. But also what I'm saying is if she's not going to feel feelings for you, she's not going to feel feelings for you. You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's entirely true. If she doesn't feel, just walk away.
Yeah. Just at that point, you're like, okay, cool. We can just be friends, or I don't want to be friends anymore. But what I'm saying is it can still be possible to be friends after you've had that awkward moment of like, oh, I like you. Yeah, well, I don't really
I got it. I figured it out. I figured it out. Okay. So, here's how you do it, man. So, okay, you cut communication with this broad. And then she reaches out, why aren't we talking anymore? What happened? I thought we were friends. The moment she does that, make sure you're on the phone so she can hear you, and you got to employ your Batman voice. You got to say, are you open to going out with me or not? She goes, what, huh? Look, I like you, and I just didn't get the vibe that you like me back, and you're keeping me at arm's length, and it just hurts my feelings. Like, I have feelings for you, and that's pretty obvious. Do you like me? Are you open to dating me?
Or like, are you open for going on a date with me?
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Like, that's how I would do it.
Yeah.
That's the master plan. That's how I would do it right there.
It's like, let me take you out for a coffee.
Because the thing about it is, if she's got you at arm's length, and you try to pounce and go, hey, I like you, etc., etc., you put it out there, that might just push her away further. So what you have to do is reel her in. You have to bait her somehow. The way you bait her is by cutting her off. That's the trick. This is the problem with young people and dating, is you have to do these stupid things.
Yeah, it's sadly, there's a lot of game playing.
Yes.
Especially when you're younger.
Hold on. That's patently false. The games continue even into the later years. They will continue. I can't say too much information. I learned about 8 years ago. Oh my God, has it been that long? Am I that old? I learned I think it was about 8 years ago. It has been 8 years. Oh my God, I'm so old. So,
oh my God, Jaby's having an existential crisis.
This is
on a podcast.
This is 8-9 years ago. I realized the games don't go away. They are always there. They are always there. The games are always there, and it's so frustrating. It doesn't matter how old these women get, how old these men get. Games are always there. That's why people get divorced in their 40s, and they're like, oh, there's communication issues and blah, blah. The games are always there. You're always fucking with each other. So what I'm saying is, and then sure enough, you have a woman who goes, well, I don't want to be in a relationship with a man who has got to play games with me and blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Shut up. Everyone plays games until they die. Okay? Even old people in homes are playing games with each other. We're all playing games until we die.
Keeps it spicy.
It keeps things interesting.
Yeah.
That's why you're attracted to like stupid dramatic TV shows and movies.
It's interesting.
So anyway, cut her off for a little bit. She will reach out. And when she does, put it on the table and just go, are you open to dating me or not? Because if not, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste, because I have feelings for you.
No friendship? Nothing?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste your time. I like you. but I get the sense that you don't like me back. If you're open to dating me, let's keep talking. Let's grow. Let's do something. Let's have it turn into something. You know, I think that we can have something really spectacular together. I respect you a lot, and I will I don't know, come up with something good to say, but and don't fuck it up. Don't make it too complicated.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't make it too complicated, because the more complicated you make it, the more likely you're going to stumble over your words. I've been there, trust me.
No pressure.
Don't make it too complicated. Keep it simple and learn to be silent.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Learn to listen. Put it on the table and just wait. And if she can't answer, be like, you know what? You think about it.
Bye.
I got to go.
Peace.
Hang up. Boom.
Mic drop.
I feel like this is a powerful move. This is a powerful move. This is like
possibly
checkmate. Because either way, you're going to find a way forward with this that is going to be positive. Either you move on from this and then you can clear it out, clear out this stuff inside so that you can make room for someone else in your life, or you get to be with this girl who's hot and wonderful, and obviously, or whatever. So there. Anyway, we got to wrap this shit up. So this is this is a long episode. This is supposed to be a shorter episode, and we haven't even got through all the emails.
It got fun.
So if y'all are still here, what I'm gonna do going forward is I'm gonna try to make this a thing where we stream this while we record it on the Patreon. So if you join Patreon, then you can hear the podcast live before it actually gets edited and posted to YouTube. In any case, thanks so much for being part of this small audience. There's about 30,000 of you. You're all wonderful for listening.
Love and appreciate you.
I really appreciate you guys putting your heart out there and writing the emails. And it takes courage to write an email.
Yeah.
You know, it takes courage to be willing to be subject to our opinions and responses and whatnot.
Yes.
So thanks so much. Love you all. Stay safe.
Yes.
Reach out to friends and family. Let them hear your voice. Let them see your face. And have courage moving forward with all of your issues.
Oh, and as always, take what we say with a grain of salt. Do what works and feels right for you.
Exactly. Have courage. Be strong. Nobody's perfect, and neither are you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Love y'all. I'm Jaby Koay.
This is Achara Kirk.
Peace out.